to discuss the termination of buyer tenant representation agreement. Remember, in order for you to have a client, you definitely had to have a buyer's rep agreement. But if any case or something pops up where this agreement needs to be terminated, this is the particular form you're going to use. So A says prior agreement on or about this date. You're going to put the date that you entered into your buyer's rep agreement on or about, let's say it was 3 months ago, January the 2nd. Clients and broker entered into a buyer-tenant representation agreement. So you can help these people buy a home or find a lease property. So you're saying on or about this date, you guys entered into a contract. So termination date. The parties terminate this agreement at, it looks like 11:59 p.m. on, and you put the day that you're going to officially terminate. So we're going to do that today. I'm going to say, yeah, we're going to do it today, Friday the 3rd, right? Now, C talks about termination fee. It says, upon execution of this termination, client will pay broker a fee of blank for services rendered throughout the termination date. That could be a lot of different things. You may have, it just depends. Like sometimes I usually don't have a fee, but there may be a fee. Like maybe they said they were going to pay you something for something. Well, okay, we're terminating this, but please reimburse me the $200 I gave for whatever you did. You know what I mean? I don't know what you may have done, but either put an amount in here or put 0 or put NA, non-applicable if there's nothing, okay? But it says if on or before, you're going to put a date here, client agrees to purchase or lease a property by oral or written agreement or option, client will pay broker at the time the property is purchased or leased a fee equal to, you're going to put, check both of these, you're going to put 3% in A, and you're going to put 50%, usually it's 50% of the rent rate, and usually it's about, standards about 3% of the sales rate. But in this date right here, this is your protection period. So you're going to go here, and usually I like to do, you can do a year, you can do 100, you can do 90 days or something, but at the very minimum 180 days. So 180 days is, I think 3 months is 90 days. So we're going to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Go 6 months to the last day. So it's saying here, these are the fees. If you go on or before this date, you're going to be due your money if box 3 is proper, right? So box 3 says the fees specified in paragraph 2C, which is up here, are payable only if the client agrees to purchase or lease, and you're going to check 1, any property in the market area. So if they said they were moving out of the town, and you're like, well, they said they're moving, so I'll go ahead and terminate this. I don't usually see that more often. I see this often, which any property of the following, any of the following property. And I usually put a list of all the homes that I've showed them. So you're going to put a list of all the address of properties that you have identified to this particular client. So what you're saying is, hey, Mr. Buyer, I know we're going to go ahead and terminate our buyer's rep agreement. However, if any of these properties I have listed here go under contract, you can't terminate me and then go back then knock on the door to the buyer and say, hey, I got rid of my agent, so let's go ahead and I'll go ahead and buy this property. If you do go back, you are still due to pay me either if you purchase a property, the 3% commission, or if you lease a property, the 50% of a property I've shown you. Does this make sense? And you may have gone out and showed a lot of properties. That's why it's good to keep track of the properties you've shown your clients via showing time. There's an app if you can use it, but otherwise, just making sure you have those addresses of all the properties you've shown them. Jot it down. You may have showed them more than can fit here, so you can just see. Look, I would say, see attachments, page 2, and initial. That way they can that way you know that there's a second page, and that a second page may have, like maybe you had showed them like 50 properties. I don't know. But any of those properties that you have identified to them, if they go back within 180 days is what we did here, and decide they want to purchase it, that you are still due your commission because you're the main procurement of that sale. But then let's go to D. It says release. Except for the promises made in this termination, this thing right here, client and broker releases each other from all obligations or related to this agreement, including but not limited to the protection period clause, which will no longer apply. So you're gonna scroll down here. It says broker's company printed name. That's where you're gonna put First Class Luxury Living. You are the agent. This is where you're gonna put your signature, and you're gonna put your client's signature here. If it's two, put their buyer's names there. That's where they're gonna sign. If you have any questions, please let me know. There you go.